Man, what a finish. What a finish to that game. It was hard, way harder than it needed to be to finish that freaking ball game. You got Blake Snell, who is damn near perfect. He's got a perfect game going. He's faced the minimum. He only has 104 pitches. So what? There's pitchers who've gone, pitchers who've thrown 130, 135 in recent memory. This is not, I'm talking about the 50s or the 60s. This is recent. Let him throw 120, get out. He was completely dominating the Brewers, like complete domination. Let him in. The moment you take Snell out, you're giving life to the Brewers for what? And then, you can trust Sasaki kind of, but trust in your on your person. Trust Snell. Like, what are we doing? Just don't get it. I don't get it at all. Those decisions, Roberts has been terrible managing. I think the postseason, he's been lucky more than anything. I mean, he was lucky that, what's his name? Turang, whatever his name is, that he swung at a bad pitch. Otherwise, it would have, if he would have not swung at that, it would have been a tied game at the very least. And then, boom, you're fighting for your life again. So, way harder than it needed to be. It didn't need to go that much. But anyways, where here, right? Roki Sasaki in, and then I think it was to Yelich, to Turang, to Contreras. Who pitched to Yelich? Here it was Ryan. Terrible. Just terrible, man. I can't believe this shit. Shit was terrible. But anyways, just want to quickly evaluate. Well, let me switch some shit around. Because we had call for Teoscar. Yeah, so we had just quickly evaluating the offense for the Dodgers for this game. Again, I think that finish was terrible and it shouldn't have happened in the way that it did. I think you just leave Snell there. I mean, let him finish. I really don't understand. What is this? I really don't understand the decision. I mean, I kind of do, right? It's your closer. Snell is 104 pitches, but he's throwing a perfect game so far, facing the minimum of the Brewers. The Brewers, they know what to do with him. Don't give them life. Finish it up. Snell doesn't throw again for like a week or a week and some change. Like, let it all out there. Let's evaluate Ohtani's plate appearances in this game. So they pretty much took the bat away from him, right? So first the bat to start the ball game, Ohtani walks on 5 pitches. They wanted nothing to do with him, so it was a great at bat. Second at bat, pretty nice at bat. He goes 8 pitches, and then a pop out, or a fly out doesn't really do much damage. But again, a really good at bat at 18 points because it's Shohei Ohtani with that queen designator. But again, fouling 2 good pitches there at the end, and then flying out, not too bad. Next at bat, intentional walk to face Mookie Betts. Can't remember who was on first or on second. There's a man on second, probably Kike. Kike had doubled, I think. Kike doubled. Pajes was out, of course, because what else is he gonna do? And then Ohtani comes in, they walk him, and then Mookie Betts hits into double play. So a great decision by the Brewers. And this was the story as well. So the Brewers just couldn't match and couldn't hit Snell. But decision making in this game, the Brewers way better than the Dodgers, almost in every way. Almost every decision that they made was working out in their favor. The other decision to walk Ohtani here, that did not work out, right? So this ground out, okay, they saw 3 pitches, but as you can see, Ohtani wasn't really swinging too much at pitches that were not in the zone. So I was impressed by him for doing that. And then intentionally walked, and then now you pay the consequences because you load the bases for Ohtani, and then you walk Mookie. That's already happened. It's the second time it happens in the postseason, so not something you want to do. Good. So, but every at bat, if you can see, every at bat for Shohei Ohtani, it was a good at bat, good or great, and that's kind of what you want to see. But in this one, it was more about the Brewers than anything Ohtani was doing, because they took the bat out of his hands 1, 2, 3 times. So still would love to see him start hitting, but it is what it is. Mookie, as far as Mookie Betts, he was pretty bad all game, all up until, especially this double play was terrible. It's killer, and then it's just 3-pitch fly out, my 3-pitch ground out, a 3-pitch double play, a 1-pitch fly out, and then a 6-pitch walk that brought a run in, which is great. So he redeemed himself by getting that run in there. And then Teoscar was pretty bad as well, especially the second at bat. So the first at bat, 6-pitch line out. You're not too mad at that. 8 points is a marginal player appearance, and then he walks, right? He walks on 4 pitches, second plate appearance. But what happens here? So what happens next is, I think Freddie Freeman gets out, right? He's a fly out or something like that, and then Will Smith singles, and really it was a single that could have any other runner not named Teoscar would have gotten to third on that single, but not Teoscar. And then after that, Edman singles to center field as well, and he's kind of like, his base running is the worst. Teoscar Hernandez, like, he's slow and he's terrible in the base passing. He's terrible at defending. All he can do is hit. So Edman singles to center, which I think everyone knew that shit was landing except Teoscar. So of course he can't score on that single. So now he's on third. So what happens now? Now the Muncy play, right? Which either way, like whether the center fielder caught it or not, I don't really know what happened to Teoscar. I don't know if I watched the replay all the way to know where was Teoscar. Like, was he on the base path waiting? Was he halfway down to home plate? Like, what in the world was he doing? Because whether that ball is caught or not, he should have scored. Simply should have scored. So I don't know, but that was 3 different instances of terrible base running by Teoscar Hernandez. So anyways, so that's an out. there. Teoscar, I thought was a really bad game by him. Then after that, fly out, pop out, and in 2 pitches, fly out, 3 pitch, fly out. So not really impressed with Teoscar Hernandez. Call, he no, he was fine. I mean, I don't know. He came in with what runners in first and second, I think, second and third, whatever the case it was. After So after Mookie, so Mookie walks, and then here comes Call, and I think it was a pop out or pop up on the infield, and then Freddie Freeman, another fly out, right? Yeah, another fly out. He had double, tripled before, but I mean, still, he's a fly out but 2 runs had already scored, which is fine, and I think that's where it ended. Yeah, that's where it ended. They needed more runs, but anyways, it ended up being enough. But Freeman was outstanding. Freeman was amazing. He was 2 for 5. His first appearance is marginal. He struck out on 5 pitches. And then it was a fly out on 3 pitches where there were runners on, what was it? First and second, it was. Something like that. I can't remember that one. I can't remember. Nah, just Teoscar. Had a fly out, and then the homer, which was huge at that moment. And then the double, which kind of was threatening to score more runs, but they were not able to bring them in. And then, flying out with the bases loaded, which, I don't know, it wasn't really a fly out. He took that ball deep into the outfield, which, if it was to left field or right field, that would have been a home run probably. Will Smith was amazing too. He just had that first at bat was kind of bad because it was a 3-pitch ground out, but after that he singled with runners on base, which was the Teoscar play, and then he singled again on 4 pitches, and then it was a productive out because I think he hit it to right field, and then Freddie Freeman went to third, so it was a productive fly out. So Will Smith was great, bunch of good at bats, amazing. I thought Tommy Edman was really good as well. I mean, this last at bat with the strikeout, but still 9-pitch at bat. He's battling out there. He's fighting. Singled with runners in scoring position, but unfortunately that runner that was in scoring position was Teoscar Hernandez. Not much you can do. And then that walk with runners on base, which 7-pitch walk, runners on base, really good. And then that strikeout. Max Muncy was good too, was solid at the plate, no complaints there. That crazy double play that happened there, I can't remember the inning, but with Teoscar, that could have been a home run in many different ballparks, or if he hits it to any other, side of the ballpark as well, that's a home run. It's just unfortunate that the runner is Teoscar. That's what it is. And it was confusing. It was a confusing play. Like, did he catch it? Did he not catch it? Like, and it seems like the umpires saw it. They saw it right away. Yeah. So. And and then a walk. So Max Muncy was okay. I did play, not too bad. Kike was good. I mean, that's the other thing. He's 2 for 4 right here. And then that third at bat. So the first at bat, it was a strikeout on 3 pitches. Then that second at bat, he doubles. That third at bat strikes out. But again, I put here highway robbery because that called 2 strikes that were not strikes, right? If you're watching the game, you see that both those pitches were outside the zone. And then so then it was a ball, and then a foul, and then he struck out swinging at a pitch outside the strike zone. So but those 2 strikes were killers, right? You're 0-2 when you should be 2-0, and then the third one was a ball as well, so you could be 3-0. It's just terrible by the umpire. But then he singles, even though he actually made swing to a pitch that was outside the strike zone, but he was still able to single off of it, which is why here it's a marginal, because he's swinging at a bad pitch. And then Pages, I don't know, I think we've got to start, or there needs to be a conversation. I know he's good in center field, but Pages is terrible. So I don't know if they can afford to sit him down to put Kike in center and have Cole and Hernandez out there, but Pages is just not giving you anything. You know, I mean, he had a good at bat, that first at bat, 10-pitch ground out, and then a 4-pitch ground out, and a 6-pitch ground out. Like, he's just not giving you much, Pages. So I don't know. And then we look at the Brewers, and this was just straight domination by Blake Snell. So I mean, we can go over this, but for Churio, right? This 3 at bats here. So ground out on 5 pitches, strikeout on 8 pitches, strikeout on 4 pitches, and then this was against Sasaki, which it was a flyout that moved the runner over. Yelich was, you know, he could not do anything against Snell, right? Strikeout on 4 pitches, strikeout on 6 pitches, and then a ground out on 6 pitches. Nothing doing, and then he walked against Sasaki. Contreras, strikeout on 5 pitches, ground out on 5 pitches, ground out on 4 pitches, and then he walked against Trinan. So all this stuff here for these hitters is, you know, any positive here is against someone not Snell. And then Snell here again against Turang. Fly out in 3 pitches, strikeout in 4 pitches, ground out in 4 pitches, strikeout in 5 pitches. But this was Trinan. Turang striking out on a really bad pitch that was super high and outside the strike zone. But hey, you take what you can get in the postseason. So you can win these games, and it was an important game to win. Imagine the Dodgers losing that game where Snell had that type of performance, and that would have been devastating, 100%. If the Brewers would have won today, maybe, I don't know if the Dodgers kind of like recover from that. Right? Then I mean, look at this, Andrew Vaughn, like, ground out in 3 pitches, then ground out in 2, ground out in 2. That's it. Snell was straight dominating these people. Fly out in 6 pitches, ground out in 2 pitches, and a strikeout in 6 pitches against Frelick. Durbin is the only one who did anything against Snell, which was a single, but then Snell caught him stealing. So, sure, you singled off him, but that was it. So, it was that single, and then in 5 pitches, and then strikeout in 4 pitches, and a fly out in 3. And then Collins. I mean, nothing here at all whatsoever. And this is the first, no, Durbin. Oh, okay, this flyout was not Snell. So this flyout was actually Sasaki. But these two were Snell. So yeah, that's single. And then strikeout in 4. This was Sasaki. You started, you know, you're like, okay, you're starting good. Fly out to third, or pop up to third. We're out of here soon. And then Sasaki just loses. I don't know what happened to Sasaki, but anyways, Collins against Snell, strikeout in 3 pitches, strikeout in 3 pitches. Against Sasaki, walk in 5 pitches. Joey Ortiz, nothing either. Ground out in 4 and ground out in 5, and then the rest we know. Bowers, pinch hitter against Sasaki with that double. But that's pretty much it. That's the game. Brewers, I don't know if the Brewers still have arms in that bullpen, right? Like every single pitcher pitched today, I feel like, or tonight. So I don't know what they're gonna look like tomorrow, because maybe their starter is gonna go long. Who's their starter tomorrow? Peralta? Are they counting on Dude to pitch 9? Maybe that's the case, but man, that bullpen they threw everything out there for nothing. But anyways, good win by the Dodgers. Almost messed it up there at the end, but I'm glad that they came out on top. And yeah, everything went well with Chessboard Baseball. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to be on tomorrow night again to do the Chessboard Baseball evaluation and then talk about post-game a little bit. So if you stuck around for a little bit, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.